Today's vlog, what is Stoxkarts? What do we race? Watch this video and you'll know that a little bit more. Stoxkarts, there's been a lot of decent people in it as well. So currently, just to give you an idea, there's quite a few people in the points in Formula 2. Hello, so thanks for watching this vlog. Today's vlog with us not been quite ready for the season yet, but with 2025 about to start, we just thought we'd do something a little bit about Stoxkarts, give you a bit of an insight into what Stoxkarts are, and give you a reason to watch us. Stoxkarts is a budget formula as such, but it gives everybody an insight into the oval racing world. So watch this space, we'll try and give you a little bit of an ins and outs to the Stoxkart formula. Yeah, Stoxkarts. So founded originally in 2003, it was literally called Stoxkarts. Then it became Stoxkarts in 2009 when current owner Ian Higgins and his brother took over. Ian Higgins, obviously Captain Chaos, was a race car driver in Formula 1 Brisker. Decided on something new. All the karts are the same. The karts themselves are a 400cc Honda engined kart, custom made, fully fabricated shells. The good advantage to it is because they are all literally the same and there's limitations. You are racing against the other 20 odd drivers on track in identical things, so a lot of it comes down to driving. All the parts and everything are pretty cheap compared to most of the formulas, so it's an ideal formula for people to start in, or people who just want running costs and stuff like that. You know, everything about it is family orientated, so if you've got a family, they're ideal. And then literally from that point of view, you know, that is stock. So yeah, they are 4-stroke, centrifugal clutch, so fairly simple stuff. They can reach up to 50 mile an hour easy. We tend to get around such as Skegness in about 17 seconds, which is pretty quick compared. Obviously, we don't really lose a lot of speed around some of the corners like many do, so we can pretty much go flat out. We have the transponders, so it's done the proper way. If there's any accidents, we can all get stopped. Stoxkarts has the advantage of being ORCI approved, so we run on all the proper tracks all the way through the country. So we run at Ipswich, Aldershot, Cowdenbeath in Scotland, Odsall, Buxton, plenty of others, obviously Skegness. But with us being ORC approved, we get to race on all the top tracks. We are lucky enough to go do certain meetings with the big boys, such as Brisker and stuff like that, which always adds to the flavour. Yes, I'll be honest with you, they do get a little bit of stick from certain people. Shopping trolleys, toy cars, we've heard them all. I once remember at Bradford, a particular person there says to us, oh, bloody hell, look at these shopping trolleys, what, blah, blah. Yeah, interesting comment, don't get me wrong. 20 minutes later, when we came off the track, all of a sudden, it was the best thing since sliced bread. You've never seen any racing like it. So you've got to keep your eyes open. There'll always be them people that don't see it as a proper formula as such. But it is what it is. It's a perfect entry, family-friendly formula that you can race sensibly, and you race all the way through the country. It doesn't cost you a fortune. But for companies sponsoring, they get the name and logo out there, so it's worth for companies to sponsor. And it gives you an idea. I once tried doing F2 Outlaws, and I'll be honest with you, I couldn't get sponsorship for it. With the Stoxkart, we've managed to get sponsorships. Don't get me wrong, we're in the right trade, and we do try as best and try hard, but it was a lot easier to get it based on the tracks and the formula setting it's got. So obviously something's gone right on that one. So that's what Stoxkarts is in simple terms. So there's now some facts and figures in the sun. There's over 100 Stoxkarts out there built. Most race meetings can have easily in the 20s for adults and 20s for the kids. You'll always find some for sale, but there isn't many, which is always a good sign. So Stoxkarts range from about £2,500 for a fairly competitive but cheaper one, all the way up to about £4,000 for probably more of a top of the range, and I think they're about £6,500 new. So they are affordable for everybody. When it comes to Stoxkarts, there's been a lot of decent people in it as well. So currently, just to give you an idea, there's quite a few people in the points in Formula 2s that are ex-Stoxkart drivers. So you've got Aidan Grinley, who's a red top, doing really well since he went and left ours. He didn't even go into the seniors, he went straight there. You've got his brother that's just started in there. Alex Butcher, that I've raced against quite a few times. He's quite a decent driver. I think he's had a couple of wins already this year. You've got the Andrews, you've got Tommy, who should be going up to blue after a really strong start in Formula 1 stock cars. You've got Hannah in stock cars. You've got Morton Hall, Jim Bob. He always races really well in Skegness. He's been in stock cars now for a few years. He started in Stoxkarts. I think the most impressive one was the Thomas Brighton, probably. So he went directly from Stoxkarts into V8s, and in his first season, I believe it was, actually won the V8 Gold Roof. So there's plenty of people that go in this formula and use it as a step up. We've had some step down as well that's made come into the formula for cheap. But like I say, it's just a bit of an idea. These things are pretty hard to drive. So if you get the knack of these and get smooth in these, you tend to find you can actually drive some of the other ones. So they're not a bad formula to go in. So yeah, I mean, it's always good to see. Doing this video really just to give people who don't really know about them, like I say, a bit of an idea. You can go from these to some very expensive, serious formulas. For next year, I know that there's a couple of people going to other formulas, so I wish them well. So let's hope that they do well. There's 2 Stoxkart drivers that's gone to the V8s this year. Wishing them both well. Is it 2, 3? So yeah, just to give you an idea, that's a little bit about the numbers and the drivers that are in Stoxkarts. So this is just to give you an idea about gradings. Obviously, a lot of people that watch our videos and all our sponsors and everything don't necessarily actually understand what the gradings and the way that the actual points and everything work in stock karts. So this is our little kiddies track, and this is our toys. These all come from stock signs. You can buy these on the internet and you can get them at the side of the track. This one is very much like Bradford, which is obviously our favourite track as well. But we just thought we'd do a quick video just to show you the gradings as they are in stock karts, as they are in many different formulas in the UK, to be fair, as well. So you start at the front, and then you are starting with the white tops. So these whites are people that have only probably just started, people that maybe aren't that experienced, and to some degree people that don't necessarily turn up and race every week. Some people are just happy to win it for the fun, and if you're going around in circles fast, some people don't care what colour roof you are. Jim Bob there that used to start and race in stock karts. And then we go to yellows, internet sensation Nigel Ari there, and Hannah Andrews. The yellows tend to be people that have obviously had some decent results here and there. Don't necessarily have to have any wins, any podiums, but you just need to gain a few points, and you become a yellow. By the time you've got to yellow, normally you've sort of got the knack of driving, and you're probably turning up a little bit more than you do if you are in the whites. Like I said, both yellows and whites want to try and get away from everyone else as quick as they can. It doesn't make them bad drivers, it just means they're now not necessarily turn up as much. Then you got your blues, which is what we start the season in. We've got Jake Walker there, and Sarge. The blues tend to be getting more consistent results. You have to turn up a little bit more to get up to blues for a start off. You can't just turn up as and when. And you've probably got maybe a podium or two and quite a few top tens by the time you get into blues. Your blues are probably your first of your slightly more experienced drivers, let's just say. Behind the blues, these have always been classed as the big boys, as we call them. In any formula, the red tops tend to be the better drivers. Our favourite driver there, Liam Gilbank. Blast of the past there, obviously I'm from Flockton, that's Bobby Burns, sponsored by Flockton Plan Tyre. And then you've also got the reds, just behind them you've got the Stoxkarts, stock karts there. So the reds and superstars are all essentially top of the tree in points. Your superstars become the top few red roofs that have got a few more points than the rest of the reds. So they get added bonus of lights, flashing lights on them. So these are all essentially in the same grade, just split up into the top half and lower half of that grading. If you want to become a red any season, you have got to turn up to a lot more tracks. There is no doubt in that. You won't become a red by just racing when you want to. You have to have some very consistent results. You will have probably guaranteed yourself a couple of podiums at least. And like I say, you're probably committed to quite a few. Once you become a red like we did last year, you're normally happy as Larry. Silver roof. This one is the understated one in my opinion. Silver roof is always classed as not quite as good as the gold. The silver roof is the guy that got the most points throughout the season. That means you have raced every single race in that year as good as you can and averaged damn good points. So to me, silver roof is one of the best roofs you can get, not going to lie. Then behind them you've got the gold. Now the gold isn't easy to do. You've got the massive race to win. Everyone's trying to knock you out and knock you away to get to that one. So it's the hardest race of the year to win. And you do have to qualify for this race as well. So normally you've got to have been doing semi-decent all season to get into this. There's no doubt in it. The gold roof is classed as the king of all roofs in all formulas, and it is very impressive. So you've got your whites, you've got your yellows, then you've got your blues, you've got your reds and superstars, silver and gold. There are other roofs you can get. There is national points, there is European points, which tends to be yellow and red roof. We don't necessarily do that, but some of the others do. You've got your white and black checkered roofs. We do a GP winning roof, and we also do a white and yellow championship roof, which our friend that we race with, Daz Hill, is doing this year. He'll run that roof all season, and it's basically a championship at the end of the year to make it more exciting for the lower graders to actually still have something to race for and win. Like I say, a lot of you might know everything I've just said, but I've got to bear in mind that a lot of our sponsors, a lot of people wanting to be involved, and people that are new won't know this. So why do we race stock karts? Obviously probably most of you know the story by now. Ian did a raffle that Kart actually won, and we rented the kart in Northampton, sorry, and we liked it. GME, Mr. Gilbank, then surprised us with getting one up at his farm and pretty much give us the option of chuck us some sponsorship money and it's all yours. So we did. So we've got a lot to thank our sponsors for, but I think it says a lot about the formula and how we sold it to show that we got all them sponsors to be able to do that. And then we've gone strength from strength with sponsors. The thing about stock karts that's made us stay is obviously the costs aren't silly, even though we've had some horrendous costs this year, but that's just from wrecking kart after kart. If you don't wreck them, you're alright. The day-to-day running costs are sensible. The advantage is we have a van that it fits in back of, so we don't have all the faffing about having to tow a trailer. Fuel costs are a little bit lower, etc, etc. And they're easy enough to work on, so we don't need a massive garage tow. These are all the main reasons why we carry on in stock karts, really. It's not all just about how much petrol you use and how much the parts are. I mean, at the end of the day, we obviously work for Motor Parts Direct, and the parts for a F2 or something like that, we'd be able to get more of them than we can the stock karts parts. But the fact is, it's everything. You know, it's the running cost when you're there for the day. The stock karts don't cost a fortune. It's getting them there, and it's the family. As you've seen in previous videos, our Chloe's had a go. She can actually race my kart during race days if she's got everything, as well as me. So you've got a family and a kid that's interested, if they're of the right age, and they can have a go as well. Once remember getting absolutely clattered at Buxton by a certain driver, and coming back off in the wet, in the dark, on the back of a tractor, and that said driver was stood there with tools in hand ready to fix me. So that's something else that stock karts really has a lot of. You don't need to know everything to be able to race it, because there's always people out there that's willing to help you. So stock karts really is a little bit of a family. I think all over racing is a family, there's no doubt in that. But like I said, with the costs, with the fact that we can keep getting sponsorship for such a formula, for how friendly it is, and for the fact that it races everywhere in the country, these are all ideal reasons as to why we keep racing stock karts. So this part of the video just gives you an idea what kind of kit we need. So I thought I'd go through it while I was just going through my kit bag. So the first thing is, we've all got the license. Don't want to look at my mugshot, but there you go. We've all got to have a license. Need to get my new one sorted. I've mentioned the transponder before. This is the transponder, bolts to the car itself. This counts every time you go around. It counts the laps, it counts the lap speeds, top speeds and everything. This particular one's a My Laps one, which means you've got an app on your phone and you can check all the speeds, all the times and everything. Stops the old school thing of everyone having to count as you go round and round. And then on the other side of it, you've got your race receiver. These are used everywhere and anywhere. I do a lot of watching on YouTube of Tanner Homes, and I know Tanner Homes actually sells these and the newer versions. Everybody uses these. They're a one-way radio. They tell you what to do and tell you off. You can't do anything back. So for that, then you need some earphones. We've got two options. We've got the in-ear ones, which are quite expensive, but they work a treat and you can always hear and they stay in your ears. And we've also got the in-headphone, in-helmet ones. These are alright, and you can't miss them and you can't lose them if they're stuck in your headset, in your helmet. But when you're actually at the side of the track, they're no use to you, so you tend to swap them for them. And then I don't bother swapping them back again then when I go racing. Keep all them safe with lots of spare batteries in there. To not bore you too much, neck braces. I've got a couple. There's that particular neck brace, obviously to stop any whiplash. Some use hands devices. I've always found these have done me fine so far. You've got your racing gloves that have to be fireproof. I've got a couple of different style ones, but they all do the same. They all need a wash. Racing boots. Not everybody wears these, but they are comfortable. And they wrap your ankle up, so it means you don't damage your ankle. Fireproof balaclava. You can have one of them as well. Then you got your overalls. Mine are looking a little bit faded. These haven't lasted quite as long as I hoped they would do before fading. These are wolf ones. I've also got some in there, STR ones that are alright. And then obviously you've got your helmet. This is last year's helmet. This one will be getting swapped because it's got some damage on the head. And that, apparently I was concussed, so not worth risking it. Really, if you take a whack, it's probably worth swapping it, so we have already swapped it. Other than that then, you've got a few different ones. You've got different goggles. If you're on really bad, either in wet or on shale, you've got these that have got a pull screen to clear it. And then I've just got some random goggles. I think I've also got some old school fly eyes, which are pretty useful in the wet. Because it stops you struggling, but they also don't get misted up or out like that. So that's all the kind of kit that you need as well. Like I say, we're just going through my kit bag anyway, so I thought I'd show you. So it's Saturday now, we're just finishing up on Stoxkart. This has been now probably 4 full days of doing stuff on this Stoxkart. I hope you've enjoyed this video on Stoxkarts a little bit. And I hope it's taught you a little bit more about them. If you want to come and watch them, I'll put the fixture list at the end. There's always a load of other formulas on as well, but by all means please come and watch them.